If someone abused you, they are not for you. The first thing I must urge you, abuse takes place in different ways. A person can come in and seem caring, compassionate about you and abuse you daily because you think that that person cares about you. Um, if a person is abusing you, they don't care about you. Um, when you cannot get away from your abuser, that is them trying to fellowship a predator and victim relationship. They're trying to facilitate that where you are acceptant or in accepting of them abusing you. Never become the type of person where you accept abuse whatsoever. If a person is abusing you, they are not for you in any way. I don't care how much they tell you they love you. I don't care whether you're benefiting off of it. And I'm going to be real with you. In some relationships, you do somewhat benefit off of it where you may have more than what you are accustomed to. And I can also tell you in some predator situations where a man will rape you and then attempt to try to date you. And these situations have happened to me, happened to several other people where you may not even be aware that your rapist is trying to date you. So what's happening, you're sitting up here, you're being raped or you're being preyed upon, and the person that's doing these victimizing things are trying to date you, trying to coach you, trying to be in a relationship with you. At the same time of this happening, they don't want to release you or let you go. um and this happens to a lot of faith-based people, a lot of people that's in the church, a lot of people that have religious faith or whatever, where and where pretty much you're in a situation where you're bound and stopped from progress, stopped from everything. Another predator situation to keep you as a victim, you won't be able to work. So they'll stop you from working for years. So it'll be a history. You can pretty much track the history because they have no source of income. They have nothing coming in for years. So this is a way to actually spot a victim. They have no source of income or they're dependent on another person. So you can spot them because you can see that they're dependent. They can't survive without another person. The reason why this dependency is so important because whoever you're dependent upon, 9 times out of 10, that's the predator that's keeping you in that state or keeping you in that situation. So, children are a perfect example of this, where a child has to depend on the mother or the dad for help, but maybe getting victimized by that spouse or the person's partner, in which they're dating or whatever, where the child cannot really leave the home unless then it abandons everything. Um, and pretty much when you abandon everything, you're left at the vulnerability of other things outside the home and even bigger predators. So the child is at the point where it's forced to stay within a predator situation and be preyed on and be victimized and become accustomed to that, where it becomes the norm. It wasn't until it wasn't until I started speaking to women that was into hoism and prostituting themselves that I started to actually see a cycle where they didn't have a problem with the victimization anymore. I don't know if that was their way of coping or numbing themselves to it, but they no longer had a problem with victimization or victimizing another person. And that was that was when I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, this is some sick stuff here. You know, uh, you never really know how sick you are, your community is, what state your community is in, what state you're in, what state others are in, until you really get that moment where you're sitting back, and I guess it's God's way of doing an intervention or whatever the case may be, to allow you to see the atmosphere and the environment which you have been in and pretty much blinded to by whatever device or means that you were pretty much blinded. Certain things. Okay, if you're like me, you just go to work and come home. So when you go to work and come home, you're not exposed to anything outside of your home whatsoever, other than you just going to work and coming home. So a million things happen outside your home that you're not even aware of. You're not educated about or anything, but it is happening right there in your community and you have no knowledge of it. I mean, from everything from young women being prostituted and sold, as though, when you say slavery, and to observe and to actually witness people that you know pretty much being utilized as though they have no value, as though they're animals and they have no value. And these people have no regards for it, or whatever the case may be. Let's say you find some people that say, look, we want to stop this, and these people are in high positions or whatever. A lot of times they don't even know what they're running into, because it's like a pack of wolves. You hear about the wolf and how they run in pack. It's like a pack of wolves preying on, their prey. Or a bunch of lions. I mean, you got a female lion and the male lion just preying on their prey. Same way with the wolf. Female and the male wolf just preying on their prey and trying to track their prey down and, cut them off and corner them and pretty much devour them and destroy them. This is some of the things that go on with targeting and some of the things that they do as far as retaliation and all of this stuff, when you're speaking about the issues that's taking place or what's taking place with you and stuff. Certain devices they use. You may find yourself calm in a situation where you may be angry. Doing self-observation of yourself will let you know when you are not where you're supposed to be. And I know a lot of times we don't analyze ourselves because, it's us. But when you wake up to the fact that sometimes you can't even trust yourself because some of your thought process, some of the things that you have been pretty much introduced to through TV, introduced to through music, made you draw an interpretation that certain things was okay, like having sex outside of marriage, or just having sex with random people, or multiple people, that it was okay because this is what you listen to in music. You hear Nicki, you hear all these different people say all of this different stuff, and you like, hey, this is what it is. And even if you don't believe this is what it is, you're accepting of it. I urge everybody just to be careful. Be very, very careful. This is not a game. It's not a joke. It is not limited to one area. It has hit the whole U.S. It has hit abroad. It has hit foreign. And even though you see on TV, oh, these children are in Africa and all of this stuff right here. No, these children sometimes is right in the U.S., right down the street from your house, right down the street from you, and could actually use your help, whether you're being impacted by it or you're not being impacted by it. They could actually use the assistance. it's so much that I want to cover, but I can't because I'm trying to keep the videos limited. So just bear with me.